Your mind isn't broken, it's just loud. Too loud. And the worst part is you don't even remember what silence feels like anymore. You wake up and before your feet even touch the ground your head is already running. Thoughts stacking on top of thoughts. Things you said yesterday. Things you should have said. Things you might say tomorrow. It's like your brain refuses to sit still. And no matter how much you try to focus to get it together, everything feels foggy, scattered, disconnected. You read something and realize you didn't absorb a single word. You start a task, then switch to something else within minutes. You overthink simple decisions like they carry the weight of your entire future. And deep down there's this quiet frustration building up, because you know you're capable of more. You know this isn't your best. But right now, your mind feels like a crowded room where everyone is talking at once, and no one is listening. And here's the truth most people don't tell you. This isn't happening because you're weak. It's happening because your mind is overloaded. Think about it. Every single day you're consuming more information than your brain was ever designed to handle. Notifications, social media, endless scrolling, constant comparison, pressure to keep up, pressure to improve, pressure to not fall behind. Your brain never gets a break. It doesn't get to process, it just reacts. So instead of thinking clearly, you start thinking constantly. And those are two very different things. Clear thinking is calm. It's intentional. It has direction. But constant thinking? That's noise. That's anxiety disguised as productivity. That's your brain trying to protect you by overanalyzing everything, but ending up exhausting you instead. You don't have a thinking problem. You have a noise problem. And the longer you stay in that noise, the more disconnected you become from yourself. You start second-guessing your instincts. You lose trust in your own decisions. Even small choices start to feel heavy. You hesitate. You delay. You avoid. Not because you're lazy, but because your mind is tired. And when your mind is tired, everything feels harder than it actually is. So how do you fix this? Not by forcing yourself to think harder. That's the trap. The solution isn't more effort, it's less interference. You need to create space. Real space. Mental space. Because clarity doesn't come from doing more. It comes from removing what doesn't belong. Start with something simple but uncomfortable. Sit with your thoughts without trying to control them. No phone. No music. No distractions. Just you. At first it's going to feel strange. Maybe even irritating. Your mind will jump around. It'll try to escape. Let it. Don't chase every thought. Don't fight them either. Just observe. Like you're watching traffic pass by instead of running into the road trying to stop every car. This is where clarity begins. Not in control, but in awareness. Because once you start noticing your thoughts instead of becoming them, something shifts. You realize not every thought deserves your attention. Not every worry deserves your energy. And slowly the noise starts to lose its power. Another thing you need to understand is this: your brain is addicted to stimulation. Every time you check your phone, every time you scroll, every time you jump from one thing to another, you're training your mind to expect constant input. So when things slow down, when there's silence, your brain panics. It thinks something is wrong. But nothing is wrong. That silence is exactly what you've been missing. You don't need more information. You need digestion time. Think about how you eat. If you keep stuffing yourself without giving your body time to process, you'll feel sick. The same thing happens with your mind. Too much input, not enough reflection. So instead of chasing new content all the time, start revisiting your own thoughts. Write things down. Not perfectly. Not in some structured way. Just get it out. Because when thoughts stay in your head, they feel bigger than they are. But when you put them on paper, they become clearer, smaller, manageable. You start to see patterns. You start to understand what's actually bothering you, instead of just feeling overwhelmed by everything. And then there's this one shift that changes everything. Stop trying to figure out your entire life at once. That's where most of the mental chaos comes from. You're thinking about 5 steps ahead when you haven't even taken the first one. You're trying to control outcomes that don't exist yet. So your brain keeps looping. What if this happens? What if that goes wrong? What if I fail? And suddenly you're stuck. Not because you can't move forward, but because you're trying to move everywhere at once. Clarity comes when you narrow your focus. Not your whole life. Just today. Not everything you need to fix. Just one thing you can do. Because when your mind has direction, it calms down. It stops overcomplicating. It starts cooperating. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a clear next step. And sometimes that step is small. Almost laughably small. But small steps create momentum. And momentum clears mental fog faster than motivation ever will. Also, be honest with yourself about what's draining you. Some thoughts aren't random. They're reactions. To people, to environments, to habits you keep repeating even though they're clearly not helping you. If your mind feels chaotic every day, it's not just internal. Something external is feeding that chaos. Pay attention to that. Because you can't expect a clear mind in a messy environment. And I'm not just talking about your room. I'm talking about your routines, your inputs, your conversations, your digital space. Clean that up, even a little, and you'll feel the difference almost immediately. And here's something most people overlook. Rest is not a reward. It's a requirement. You don't earn clarity by pushing yourself until you break. You earn it by giving your brain what it needs to function properly. Sleep. Real breaks. Time away from screens. Time where you're not performing, not consuming, not trying to improve, just existing. Because a rested mind doesn't overcomplicate. It sees things for what they are. Simple. Manageable. Possible. Right now your mind feels heavy because you've been carrying too much for too long. Thoughts, expectations, pressure, noise, all stacked on top of each other. But none of that is permanent. Clarity isn't something you find once and keep forever. It's something you return to, again and again, by choosing what you allow into your mind. So if everything feels messy right now, if you feel stuck, distracted, overwhelmed, good. That means you're aware. And awareness is where it starts. Not with a big breakthrough. Not with some perfect system. But with a simple decision. To slow down. To filter the noise. To stop reacting to every thought like it's urgent. And start choosing what actually matters. Because the moment you do that, even just a little, something changes. Your mind quiets down. Your thoughts line up. And for the first time in a while, you can hear yourself think again.